I honestly cannot describe how painful filming this vlog intro has been. Come on. Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel and to today's video. I honestly cannot tell you how many times I've tried to film this intro because someone's feeling rather camera shy today, but we've got out the apple, so hopefully now he's going to be invested and I'm going to get him out of his stable for more than 2 minutes. He's usually the friendly one as well, so I really cannot work out why. But today's video is basically just me reliving the eventing season for as long as humanly possible. As you guys will know, coronavirus is still very much around. The UK is on full lockdown still, and it doesn't look like it's going to be shifting anytime soon, which means no eventing for the foreseeable future. And I was lucky enough to get in one run before lockdown on both my boys. If you haven't watched that vlog yet, you are more than welcome to go and check it out. I will leave the link to it in the description below. You can go and check it out now. You can watch this vlog first. Really, it's all your choice. And today I'm going to be going through Atty's full round of cross country, what was going through my head, my sort of like thoughts out cross country, if you will. I'm sure you've seen a lot of people do these videos. I always think they're really super interesting. And I think it's quite a good round to analyse because it actually wasn't too much of a difficult round for us. As you guys may know, we did quite a lot of last season at BE Novice, and that was really where we were hoping to be this season. But I always like to start the season with 1 or 2 runs at the level below because the ground is never as good in March as it is in the rest of the season, and also events in March are so likely to get cancelled that I just like to allow a couple of what I call buffer events. So that's kind of what this was. Over the last couple of years, we've kind of had the tradition that at the end of the season, I will pick a round that I did at some point in the season that I was particularly proud of, perhaps a championship round, maybe a first round at a new level, or just a round that I thought went particularly well, and we'll buy the video of it, and then I can spend the winter sort of like really super excited about next season. But because this season has been cut short, or at least had a break in it, my mum very kindly bought me this video for my birthday, which is in a couple of days, so that's why I've got this, and I'm very grateful, so thank you very much mum for that. So yeah, a little bit of context about the day if you haven't watched the other vlog or you don't follow me on Instagram. I had a double clear, which I guess is the main thing. My dressage was not quite where I wanted it to be, and I had a couple of time faults, and those 2 things dropped me out of the top 10. Well, actually just the time faults. I think it would have been 7th without the time faults. But I'm not too bothered because, like I said, it's the first month of the season. It's all about training and improving. And the ground was quite deep, so I wasn't pushing for the time. Although, having watched back this video that you're about to see, I'm really quite surprised that we had any time faults because it looks like we're kind of going great guns the whole way, but that's life. I think that's basically all I have to say, and Atty has now definitely decided he doesn't want to play ball anymore. So let's get into the video. Also, I just have to document for the vlog. I've just finished filming the intro and I came to give Towie some love and she's lying down. It's very cute. She doesn't usually lie down, so just thought I'd throw that in there. Oh, bless her little heart. Friendly now. Thanks for that one, mate. Really appreciate it. And also the state of my jacket. Yeah. Look, like a model now. Like butter wouldn't melt. He's still eyeing up the apple. That was the whole set we had the whole entire time. I had apple down there, horse up there. Things I do for these vlogs, guys, the things I do. Okay, let's get into it and analyse some cross country. I'm actually about to pause the video before I even start when I'm in the start box. I just thought I'd give you a little bit more context about what happens before my round begins. I actually like to walk whatever horse I'm on around the outside of the start box and then into the start box when I've been counted down and I'm ready to go. I think it just teaches them a little bit more manners and patience and teaches them not to get super duper excited as soon as they're in the start box. This being the first one of the season meant that Atty was actually quite on edge, which is so unusual for him. He is usually so calm, nothing gets to him, nothing phases him. He'll walk into the start box, he'll stand in the start box, but on this particular day he wanted to have a little trot around, so that's what we did. There's no point having a battle with them before the round even begins, so we had a little trot around, trotted into the start box, and off we go. And I have realised there's actually no video of us jumping fence 1. I'm not sure why that wasn't included, but it's not there. So you have to take my word for it that we found a nice rhythm, jumped on a nice stride, and off we go. So this is the first fence you'll see me jump. It's actually fence 2, and as you can see, he jumps it really nicely. I did sit back and prepare for him to have a little bit of a look at it because it's the first colourful bright fence on course, but in true Atty style he wasn't bothered, and then he comes around the corner to fence 3 and again pops it really sweetly, which is just what you need when you're coming to the first combination. Coming up to the first combination, I just bring him back to me a little bit and then deliberately jumped part A over to the left just to give him a bit of extra time to see part B because it was on quite an angle. He locked on really nicely though, and I was really pleased with that. It's always so confidence giving to have the first combination on the course out of the way. And actually, as we rode away, I heard the commentator saying that we'd ridden the first few fences really nicely, which again is always really nice to hear. So we're motoring on to fence 5, and as you can see, I did not get the best stride. That was completely on me, but the wake up call I needed before the first serious combination on course. Check my watch and off we go. So this combination was definitely one of the more technical ones on the course. Part A was really big and wide, and then it was on such an angle to part B. I was always planning on jumping part A a little bit to the left, but we actually ended up jumping it way further to the left than planned. But Atty gave me a huge jump, so it's actually really useful to have the extra time to then get focused, get rearranged, and get to part B. So then what you don't see is there's actually quite a steep downwards hill before this next fence, so I just made sure to collect Atty's canter and he gave me a really nice springy jump. So now we're coming up to another of the more testing combinations on the course. It was actually A, B, C, D, including 2 steps and a skinny. So I always knew I had to focus on this one a little bit more, and the final skinny actually rode as 2 long strides, but I knew that that was almost encouraging a run out if you didn't have your canter established from coming up the step. So my plan all along was to ask for the third, which he was very helpful and just sort of gave me. I'm not really sure what came over Atty at this point in the course, but he definitely seemed to get a second wind, but I knew I had to steady him up and get him focusing because the next fence on course had actually been the bogey fence of the day where there'd been a lot of problems. Okay, it's time for the water, and we're really going to break this one down because there was some bad riding from Flo. I had not realised how quickly this turn came up. I tried to turn him in the air and we hit some deeper ground and had a bit of a stumble. Actually, when you see it from the other camera angle, it probably helped us because it gave us a little bit of extra time to regroup, and then he very kindly chipped in for me, but it definitely wasn't my best riding. I didn't realise until after this round that the 3 people before me had gone long, because you can do that because they were numbered separately or had problems. And then I posted this video on my Instagram and got a lot of questions about why I'm looking over my shoulder going through the water, and that is because I'd heard one of the frangible devices at a previous fence make a noise, and I was just checking to make sure it hadn't gone off. It hadn't, thank God. This course was certainly full of combinations, but this one actually rode really nicely. I was so pleased with how Atty read it and jumped through it. And then we had the opportunity to open up and have a nice gallop, which Atty really enjoyed, and if you look carefully you can see Mum in the top corner filming. So we're coming up to the final combination on course. It was an oxer to a ditch to another oxer. We jump in nicely, and then the ditch may as well not have been there because he didn't notice it. We really struggled to make the distance to part C though. I'm not really sure why, so I ended up having to sit back and just ask for him to add an extra stride, which he did. And then you can see me realise that we are not going to make the time. I had no idea where the time had gone, and I was really kicking on so we didn't get too many time faults. This was definitely the deepest part of the course. If you look carefully, you can actually see Atty churning the mud out from underneath him. It was really deep in front of this fence, which didn't give us the nicest jump, but we managed. We saw a nice moving stride to the last fence and Atty jumped it really nicely, and then I was honestly just so happy. It's such a good feeling coming through the finish lines clear, knowing you've done your best and you've started your season. I was honestly so chuffed with Atty. And I won't go into it in any detail, but then begins the walking off stages. I really believe in giving the horses a decent amount of time to walk around afterwards and catch their breath back after they've worked so hard for us. So I've managed to let him back out for the outro, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments if you did, because like I said, I have a couple of other videos from previous years, championship rounds and just rounds that I was particularly pleased with, that I can always do the same thing for. If there's not going to be any new eventing, I may as well be going over some old cross country rounds. So if you did enjoy it, I am more than happy to give it another go. I think that's everything there is to say. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a like, a thumbs up and subscribe. That's a very YouTubery thing to say, but I would really appreciate it. And hopefully I'm going to be trying to come up with some new video ideas to get some stuff out even during lockdown. It's not going to be the same as an actual real life eventing vlog, but it's not like anyone can be doing that at the moment, so hopefully it won't be too far off. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon with another video. You gonna say bye, Atty? No.